Hello, everyone out there in Rumble, X, and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego. And today we're going to finish, that's right, finish 19 videos in, right? 19 videos? Yeah. We're going to finish talking about Wicked. Wicked, the gay-coded American fairy tale adapted by a gay author, written by a gay author, and then adapted by a gay playwright, I guess you could say, and into a Broadway show, adapted into this movie. Okay, so it's loosely based on the book. Okay, I've read the book. I've read Wicked. I think I've told you that already. Okay, so I know how it all turns out in the book. I've never watched the Broadway show before until recently. Okay, I still haven't seen the whole thing. I only watched like the second half of it. Okay, this movie, Wicked, is part one. Okay, the Broadway show is 2 acts. So they got rid of the first act in this movie. The second act, which is part 2, is going to come out later this year in 2025. All right, so they filmed both these movies back to back. All right. Obviously I wanted to know how it's supposed to end because, like I said, this movie is based on the Broadway show, not the book. So I watched the Broadway show on YouTube. Okay, so I have an idea of how it ends. It's different. Like I said, I read the book, so it's different. What I saw on the Broadway show was Dorothy is never revealed. She's talked about by several of the characters, in fact. Glinda and Elphaba have a scene where they're just talking about her. You need to let her go. No, I'm not gonna let her go. That kind of thing. And of course, Elphaba is not wicked at all. She's actually a good person. Okay, she's just misunderstood. She was labeled as wicked, and that's why everyone thinks that she's evil, but she's really not. Okay, and so in the Broadway show, she decides that she's going to sacrifice herself. She's going to let Dorothy kill her so that, it can end her suffering because she's had a hard life, being a victim of racism and stuff. She got green skin, Funny that the only people that make fun of her skin are white people. No, none of the black people in this movie make fun of her skin. I wonder why that is. Anyway, I guess I'm just thinking too deep into it. Okay, so so she decides that she's going to kill Dorothy. She's going to kill herself through Dorothy. Death by cop, whatever. Okay, and so that's what it looks like happens. Okay, she gets melted. Blah blah blah. All that kind of stuff. You know how it goes. Dorothy gets a broom, goes back to Oz, gives it to Oz, finds out Oz is not a mechanical head. Okay, a talking mechanical head with magical powers. It's just a guy, a charlatan, okay, a con man, a grifter, okay, a man behind the curtain, okay, who's been manipulating stuff, manipulating holograms and sound effects, and using voice machines to change his voice, okay, to appear that he's this magical creature, but it's really just some dude running some machines and talking into a microphone, okay? And of course, the wizard has no powers. He's a normal guy, okay? He's like a carnival man, a mentalist or something from Omaha, okay? His name's Oscar Diggs, okay? And he ends up giving all the people, okay, the Scarecrow, the Lion, the Tin Man, and Dorothy what they want. Turns out they already had what they wanted. He just had to show them how to use it, okay? Or acknowledge that they've used the gifts that they were looking for. Whatever, you know the story, okay? So that all happens, okay? The Wicked Witch is dead, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, it turns out, according to the Broadway show, that's not what happened at all. No. What happened, according to the Broadway show, was that the Scarecrow is actually the reincarnation of Elphaba's love, okay? Prince Fiero, who in this movie is played by a very homosexual Jonathan Bailey. Okay, but he's the stud of the movie. Okay, he's the one that gets everybody wet, the men and the women. Okay, and I guess he plays some 21-year-old, bad boy. He's a prince, he's royalty, so he's rich, he's super good looking, he's all those things, okay? But he's played by a 37-year-old man. Anyway, so it turns out that Elphaba put a spell when Fiero got captured by the Wizard of Oz's guards, whatever. They killed him, and in order to keep him alive, Elphaba turned him into a scarecrow, or put his spirit into a scarecrow so he could live on. Okay, Meanwhile, we got the character of Bach. Now, Bach is the beta male cuck guy. He is the unattractive, no confidence, short guy from Munchkinland. He's a ginger with floppy red hair. Okay, in real life, he's played by actor Ethan Slater, who in real life, you probably already know this, okay, but in real life, he actually divorced his wife right after she gave birth to their daughter. Okay, he divorced her so that he could be with his co-star in this movie, Ariana Grande. Okay, who has smoked more meat than Hickory Farms. But anyway, he fell in love with her. Okay, and so who by the way, she was married as well. Ariana Grande was married as well. So they both left their spouses to be together because they fell in love while making this movie. Okay, just to show you a little bit about who they are. Okay, so butt ugly Ethan Slater, he plays Bach, this beta male who actually is in love with Glinda, but he's tied down by his unattractive, not as famous, not as successful girlfriend, who just gave birth to his child. Oh, no, sorry. He's tied down to his unattractive, crippled girlfriend, he's not really attracted to her, but Glinda tricked him into asking her out. But now he realizes that Glinda has the hots for Fiyero and not for him. So he figures, okay, I'll take the consolation prize. I'll end up dating this handicapped girl. I'll push around her wheelchair and stuff, because I can't do better. But the girl I really want is Glinda. Okay, that's the one I'm always gonna pine for, and I'm always gonna stare at, and the only one I'm gonna get hard with. That kind of thing. So that's what happens here. Okay, in the Broadway show, he ends up being, I guess being Nyssa Rose's servant or something. Nyssa Rose still in love with him, but he is not in love with her. Blah, blah, blah. But he stays with her anyway, despite the fact that she's crippled, so they can't really have sex or anything like that. Why the hell he does this, I don't know. Like I said, a gay guy wrote this show. A gay guy wrote this book. There's no heterosexuality anywhere in this book at all, or in this show, or in this movie. Okay, not 1 ounce of testosterone was used in crafting this story in all of its forms. Okay, so therefore it's hard for me to interpret what's going on here. Okay, but apparently Bach stays with Nyssa Rose, the crippled girl who goes back to Munchkinland, where she's from, where they're both from. Okay, her dad, Frexbar, who is not her biological father, but she doesn't know any better. Okay, he doesn't even know any better. Okay, he was the governor of Munchkinland, and now he's dead, thanks to the events of this movie. Okay, when Madame Morrible announced on the intercom system the entire land of Oz, not just the people in the Emerald City, the entire land of Oz, okay, that's Munchkinland, that's Shiz University, all of them heard Madame Morrible's speech on the intercom about how Elphaba is not to be trusted. She's a traitor to the wizard. Okay, do not believe anything she says. Okay, look how she mutilated these blue monkeys and gave them wings. That's her fault. Okay, she stole the Grimoire book, which is a sacred text. Okay, and she is truly a wicked witch. Okay. So she announced that. Well, when Frexbar, who thinks that his ugly green-skinned daughter Elphaba is his biological daughter, but she's not. Okay, he has a heart attack and dies right then and there when he hears this about his daughter Elphaba. He never liked Elphaba. He never gave her any love or anything. Because she's born with green skin and all that. But I guess he can't handle the stigma of the enemy of the state being his daughter. Okay, he has no problem with his other daughter, with normal skin, being in a wheelchair. That's fine for him. He doesn't care. He adores her. He adores Nyssa Rose. But his other daughter, Elphaba, no, he can't stand her. Okay, so he dies when he hears that she's been officially declared an enemy of the state. And it happens right here in this movie. Okay, so that's going on. Prince Fiyero, like I said, Jonathan Bailey's character, the gay guy playing a straight guy. You notice they never have straight guys playing gay guys anymore. You're not allowed to do that, but you can be gay and play straight. That's okay. All right, and by straight, I mean straight. There's nothing straight about Fiyero. Okay, he's basically what a gay guy thinks a straight guy acts like. All right. He decides to drop out of school again, leave Shiz University when he hears that the ugly girl that he's in love with, Elphaba, is I guess she's an enemy of the state. He knows that can't be true, so he drops out of school and he rides his horse out of there. Okay. Where's he going? He's probably going to stop at the gay bar first, but after that, I don't know. He might go look for Elphaba, or he might not. Who the hell knows? Okay. So all this is going on. Okay, and in the Broadway show, okay, Nyssa Rose, who, like I said, I guess married Bach or something, whatever. So they're living together in Munchkin Land. She places a curse on him, no, it wasn't her. It was her sister. Elphaba shows up because they haven't seen each other in a while. Okay, she's mad at Elphaba for their dad dying. Okay, and she grants Nyssa Rose the slippers. Now in the book, they're silver slippers because in the original novel, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, the slippers were silver. They were not ruby. They were only ruby for the movie, for the MGM 1939 movie. All right, so he gives her the slippers. Nyssa Rose puts them on. Now she can walk. Okay, she steps out of the wheelchair because now she can walk. Okay, and Bach decides to leave her. He says, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of being your slave. I'm tired of being your stud muffin. Okay, I'm tired of being your boy toy. Okay, I'm tired of being your human vibrator. Okay, I'm tired of being your dildo. Okay, I'm tired of being, you know where I'm going with this, right? He's tired of being, the bull. He's tired of laying the pipe and not getting paid for it. He wants to find some other ugly girl to fall in love with. So he basically, tells her, well, she ain't gonna let him go. She ain't gonna let him go. So she doesn't want to let him go. So apparently, Elphaba, or I don't remember for sure, but one of them puts casts a spell on Bach and turns him into the Tin Man. Now he's got no heart. He can feel his heart shrinking. Or no, what happened? No, okay. Nyssa Rose kills Bach, shrinking his heart, and Elphaba brings him back to life as a Tin Man. Okay, now in the original Wizard of Oz book, that's not what happened. The Tin Man, he actually cut off pieces of his body until finally he had to cut off his head. Okay, and when he was put back together in a metal body, he had lost his ability to feel emotions. Okay, that's what happened in the original book. That's how he became a Tin Man. I know it's weird, right? It's gross, isn't it? But that's what happened in the original L. Frank Baum Wizard of Oz book, right? But not in this, okay? In the Broadway show, he gets resurrected by Elphaba as a Tin Man. And then somewhere along the line, they run into the Cowardly Lion, who we see in this movie when the lion was a cub, okay, who was captured and put in a cage and experimented on. And then Elphaba and Fiyero freed him and threw him out in the woods, but yet he's still a pussy, literally and figuratively, okay, until he becomes an adult and runs into Dorothy. Hey, it's convoluted. It's convoluted, all right? But that happens too, okay? And like I said, the Cowardly Lion. All right, so all those things, that's what happened in the Broadway show. I don't know if the movie's going to go that way. It probably will. Okay, but like I said, okay, in the Broadway show, they left Dorothy out of it. Okay, they talked about Dorothy. She was referenced many times, okay, in the Broadway show, but you never actually see her. She has no lines. You see her in shadows when the witch dies in a silhouette, and that's it. You don't see anyone else, okay? You don't even see the lion in the Broadway show. You see the lion's tail. When the Tin Man tries to get the lion to come out, the lion won't come out, so you just see his tail. Okay, that kind of thing, all right? Well, so I'm pretty sure they're going to change it. Okay, I don't know how. The actual Broadway show is only, the act that I told you, Act 2 is like 45 minutes long, and I don't know how you're going to get a full movie, a full 2.5 hour movie out of 45 minutes of a Broadway show. They're going to have to stretch it out, okay, which means it'll probably be boring, okay, but who knows. Okay, so anyway, moving right along, I want to finish up this movie, okay? Let's finish talking about the movie. What do you call it? Where I left off last time, Elphaba is in the tower. She's under arrest. They're trying to capture her. They've already arrested Glinda. Okay, she refused to do what the wizard told her to do. Okay, the wizard basically manipulated Elphaba, knowing that she is his daughter, although she does not know that the wizard is her biological father. Okay, she manipulated her to show up at the Emerald City to meet him. And basically what he wants to do is he wants to use the Grimoire, which is the MacGuffin of this movie. It's a magical book that nobody can read. Okay, so you can't cast any spells. Okay, but yet, Elphaba, being born with green skin, okay, she can automatically read the book. So hence she can actually cast spells with it. Okay, I know, weird, right? Just born with that ability to read a language that nobody else can understand. Okay, and so she does that, and she accidentally makes all the blue monkeys, who are the guards of the wizard, okay, they grow wings, and now they can fly, flying monkeys. That's where that came from, right? Well, it was very painful, so she feels bad about what she did to them because it was a very painful transformation for the monkeys. She loves animals. In fact, I'd say she loves animals more than she loves humans because humans talk bad about her. They make fun of her. They ridicule her. They invite her to parties, you know, so they can make fun of her. You know, they do stuff like that to her whole life. Okay, but animals she loves. Okay, and right now animals are being persecuted in the land of Oz. So, you know, they're basically the Jews from 1930s Germany and Europe, okay, right now. Okay, they're being hauled out, they're disappearing, they're being fired, they're being, you know, there's all this hate speech being done about them, about the animals, you know, they're getting marched into concentration camps and all that kind of stuff is happening to them, okay? So, Elphaba doesn't want to stand for it. She's an activist, for animal rights activist. Okay, exactly. That is her purpose in life. Okay, it's not to be a wicked witch; it's to be an animal rights activist. Okay, she's Antifa. She's woke all the way. All right, she's gonna start a rebellion, start a revolution. You know, she's gonna form an Antifa, cell and stuff. Okay, of course she's an activist. Of course she is. Okay, you can't be a hero unless you're an activist, right? Right? It's Hollywood, right? Right? I mean, that's not going to cause you any problems, you know, being an activist, you know, embracing DEI, you know, all that kind of stuff, you know, that's not going to cause you any problems at all. It's going to make you a shitload of money. And the best part about it is your goddamn city will never burn down, right? Right? Because you got plenty of water, right? Right? Okay, anyway, but that's another topic. That's another topic, right? So... Yes, okay, so she decides, she goes to the wizard, rejects him, steals the book, and tries to make a break for it. Well, there's a big convoluted chase. The guards are all a bunch of idiots, okay? They're all a bunch of beta males that can't do a goddamn thing. It took them 3 hours to break down the door when they knew damn well what room the two girls, Glinda and Elphaba, were hiding in. It still took them 3 hours to break down the door, despite the fact that they had a battering ram. There's like 12 of them, and the only thing blocking the door was a goddamn popcorn machine. Okay, yeah, it still took them 3 hours to do that. And then it took another 2 hours for them to actually capture them. Because, you know, there was a whole big, like, Keystone Cops chase, you know, with a with an hot air balloon that caught on fire and didn't escape. You know, anyway, the girls made it to the top of the tower, and now the monkeys, the flying monkeys, had been chasing them as well. The only reason they didn't catch them is because they were indoors, the monkeys were outside. They tried to get in through the windows, but they couldn't fit because there's bars in the windows. So they could stretch out their arms, but they couldn't actually grab the girls, okay? Well, now they're at the top of the tower, open windows everywhere, plenty of room. Anybody can just walk in there, not one monkey in sight. They must have gone to the other side of Oz to go look for the girls, despite the fact that they fucking know that the girls are in the fucking tower in the Emerald City. Okay, but yet they didn't show up. All right. So anyway, so they got free reign. The girls have got free reign. What do you call it? Elphaba casts a spell from the Grimoire to make the broomstick come to life. Now she can control it, and as long as she's holding it, she can fly. Okay, Glinda gives her the cape, which is like 6 foot long, but later on when she's flying with the cape on, it turns into like a 40-foot long cape with no explanation as to how that happens. All right, so the guards are attacking. They arrested Glinda, and they try to grab Elphaba. Elphaba has like superhuman leaping ability, and she already had this before she ever even like, you know, before she ever learned anything about magic, ever had the Grimoire, ever had the broomstick. She already could like leap over cars and shit. I mean, she's that much of a jumper already. I guess like having green skin allows you to read languages that you cannot fucking read, okay, that nobody ever taught you. It also allows you to jump high, great distances, okay, and it also allows you to have telekinesis, okay. Yeah, that's being born green skin, okay. Yeah, no explanation as to why. I guess because she's the chosen one. That's the explanation they give you. She's the chosen one. Okay? Yeah. So that's going on here. Anyway, she finally decides to get the hell off the tower. She breaks free of the glass, suffers no injuries from breaking through the glass. Okay, and she starts falling to her death. Now, while she's falling to her death, she decides to take a little break from all this action and reflect on her life. Okay, so she's thinking about her past, she's thinking about her childhood. Okay, all these statements that people have made to her growing up. Okay, start rigging through her head while she's falling to her death. She's just looking at herself. Okay, her reflection on the building while she's falling to her death. You know, like the concrete is coming up pretty fast. She just like looks there, just takes a little break and reflects on herself, literally. Okay, sees herself as a young girl. Okay. And her young girl self trying to reach out to her while she's trying to reach out back, okay, that kind of thing, you know, trying to reconcile her past past with her present towards her future. Okay, she's decided that she's going to be this activist. She's decided that she's going to, use all of her power to finance an Antifa cell. Okay, to go against the patriarchy. Represented by the Wizard. Okay, she's going to do all those things. Okay, and overtake Oz. Okay. So that's what she decides to do. So she realizes this is her moment, her epiphany, where she realizes that this is her purpose in life, is to go against the system. Okay, that system that tells you can only date boys. That system that tells you have to shave your legs. That system that tells you have to wear tampons. That system that tells you that men have to pay for the. Oh no, men do have to pay for the dates. Okay. You see what I mean? The system that tells you have to have kids and be a mom. Okay, see what I mean? Yeah, she's gonna go against that brainwashing that she's had. Okay, and just go against everything. So that's what she decides to do. Now, unfortunately, her best friend Glinda, and I use best friend loosely because despite the fact that they keep telling each other that they're best friends, they keep telling each other how much they love each other. Okay, the bottom line is they're completely different. Okay, they really wouldn't give a shit about each other, honestly. Okay, their personalities are way too different. Okay, for them to have any sort of chemistry as best friends. Ladies out there, okay, your best friend. Okay, do you and your best friend act like Glinda and Elphaba? No, you don't. Do you have to keep telling each other how best friends you are? No, it's known. You say it without having to say it. It's done through your body language. Okay, the way you talk to each other, the way you treat each other. Okay, the way you act around each other. That reveals how close you are with your best friend. It's not done by going like, you are my best friend. No, none of that shit. Okay, but we're expected to believe that here. Okay, that Elphaba and Glinda are best friends, despite the fact they want two completely different things. They have nothing in common. Okay. One wants to be one of the leaders of the hierarchy in the system, and the other one wants to go completely against the system, wants to take it down. Okay, so I mean, you can have two completely different people. Okay, now I do enjoy the fact that the book was better at this, at showing the similarities between Glinda and Elphaba. Okay, they did have common ground. Okay, they did. They were very complementary towards each other. Okay, one person couldn't do this, but the other one could. That kind of thing, okay? So in the book, it was a better relationship. But in the movie, it's not, because you've only got, 2 hours to establish them as friends. And most of the time, they spend as enemies, okay? So and the fact that they're both in love with the same guy. It's just, like, what the fuck? Okay? All evidence to the contrary, you're not really you treat each other like your best friends, all right? All right, so that's going on. Elphaba's fallen to her death. She decides that she's going to embrace her wickedness, and then she does the whole thing where she reaches out for her reflection. Automatically, the broom shows up in her hand, and she flies like inches away from being splattered on the floor. She flies straight up into the air and back up to the top of the tower. And now she's singing her ass off. I'll defy gravity. But you can't defy a fucking face job, can't you? A goddamn facelift, can you? All right, because Cynthia Erivo, she's a great in this movie, playing this character named Elphaba, not the Wicked Witch of the West. She's playing a character named Elphaba. All right, she does a great job. I'm not gonna take anything away from her, but she's fucking about as good looking as my asshole. All right, so moving right along. So Elphaba flies to the top, and she gives a graduation lecture to all the guards that are up there while they're holding Glinda. And of course, Madame Morrible, she showed up as well in her white wig, Asian woman, white wig. And she stands up there and and of course, and here's, like I said, Elphaba's giving her graduation speech. She's above them now, get it? She's above them now. Okay, so she flies to the top and gives a graduation lecture to the guards about how she's flying solo, but at least she's free. You were always free, okay? You could always do whatever the fuck you wanted, all right? Okay, the monkeys finally show up. It only took 3.5 hours, but they finally showed up and found the two women they were looking for this whole time, okay? And they attack Elphaba, they go after her, so she flies around them. Now, granted, the monkeys probably have a good, maybe, okay, I'm not trying to sound hyperbolic here, okay, but based on the timeline from this scene, from the moment the monkeys got their wings to right now, I'm saying it's probably been half an hour, 40 minutes or something. Okay, seriously. All right. Since the monkeys got their wings, okay, and thereby flying. Okay, Elphaba has had exactly 30 seconds of flying experience. The monkeys have had about 30 minutes of flying experience. But yet, Elphaba is capable of flying rings around them. She can turn, she can bank a lot better than they can. She can fly faster than they can. She can do more aerodynamic moves in the air than they can. Okay, so while they're chasing her, they're not really chasing her because they're incompetent. They can't grab her. Okay, they can't like show up in front of her because they don't know how to do that. Elphaba does all these things, and she manages to trick these monkeys into flying straight into the guards and Glinda and Madame Morrible. Okay, so they fly right into them and crash. Okay, of course they all survive, but they crashed into the tower. So basically, Elphaba, with no flight experience, outflew all the monkeys. All like, what, 18 of them, right? So they crash into the tower, okay? They crash there. Glinda stares at Elphaba as she flies up in the sky, okay? And the wizard, of course, the wizard, by the way, is shitting himself right now. He just can't stop pooping in his pants. He's so scared he can't even make it to the bathroom. All right, and the worst part about it is this gush of wind flies all these papers off of his desk, you know. Okay, so that's going on. Okay, meanwhile, at Shiz University and in Munchkinland, okay, meanwhile, they hear what I said about the broadcast about that Madame Morrible made, okay, about Elphaba being the Wicked Witch of the West. Don't trust her. She's under arrest. If you find her, turn her in. That she's an enemy of the state, that kind of thing, right? So that's going on here, okay. Fiyero is confused. Okay, so what does he do? He tells his boyfriend to get his dick out of his ass, okay, so he can go in his horse and ride away somewhere, okay? So he rides away from Shiz on his horse, okay? Boq, on the other hand, Boq, like I said, Munchkinland man himself, beta male, okay, he's shocked. He's just like, oh, I don't know what the fuck to do, like that, okay, which he does the whole movie. Okay, Nyssa Rose, however, is back at home with her dad, the governor of Munchkinland, and she's just upset. You can see in her face, like, when she hears this, she's like, but then again, she's been doing that the whole movie too, okay? And Frexbar, her dad, okay, not her biological dad, okay, but her dad, the governor of Munchkinland, he just topples over and dies, like right then and there. He just falls over and dies, like immediately, okay? That happens, okay? Meanwhile, Madame Morrible, at the back of the tower, she approaches Glinda and gives her a hug. So Glinda is going to have to be Morrible's consolation prize. She wanted Elphaba to be the head sorceress, okay, of Oz, okay, answerable only to the wizard. But like I said, Elphaba does not want to do what the wizard says. She does not respect the wizard anymore. She sees him as evil, and she's going to go against him. So the consolation prize is Glinda. Glinda is going to be have to be trained by Madame Morrible to be the sorceress that Glinda always wanted to be. Hence, that's how Glinda becomes the Good Witch of the North, because Elphaba refused the job. Get it? Get it where it's going here? Okay. All right. So she ends up hugging, Madame Morrible ends up hugging Glinda instead. Meanwhile, Elphaba flies back to the tower, okay, and she warns Madame Morrible, okay? Now, like I said, her cape now, Elphaba's cape now is like 40 feet long. I'm not kidding. Okay, it's like 40 feet long. All right, and she warns Madame Morrible while the wizard, shits himself. She says, "No wizard that ever was will ever bring me down." Yeah, down. Yeah, that goes on for another 2 hours. Okay. And the chorus, of course. Now the chorus is actually pretty good. The song is called "I'll Defy Gravity," but the first song in the movie was "No One Mourns the Wicked," and the chorus to that song was "No one mourns the wicked, kill her." Okay, kill her. Okay, and so that shows up now. So while Elphaba's having her moment of self-realization that she's a lesbian, okay, okay, the people are screaming, "No one mourns the wicked." They're rebuking her. Okay? They're rebuking her. Okay, and they're saying, "No one mourns the wicked," while she's talking about how great she is. The people are saying, like, "No one's going to mourn you. No one's going to miss you. We're going to kill you," blah, 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 like that. That kind of thing, right? So kill her, kill her, kill her. All right. Elphaba uses her Chosen One powers, okay, because she's got Chosen One powers, okay? How did she get him? Well, when her mom was cheating on her dad with the wizard, he showed up, okay, drinking, and he had a little green vial full of something. He was drinking it, and her mom was drinking it, and they started fucking, and the baby Elphaba came out green. That's what happened. Okay, so that's how Elphaba has, telekinesis. That's how she has, that's how she's able to read the Grimoire, a language that nobody knows. She understands it completely because of what was in that vial. Okay, and yeah, that's exactly why. All right, so anyway, so because she's the chosen one. Yeah, that explains it. She's a chosen one. So she uses her chosen one powers to blow out all the electricity in Oz. I'm not kidding. She causes a blackout. Okay, so apparently she can control electricity too, because she forces all the electricity in the land of Oz to go out at the same time. Okay, blackout style. Okay, why? Because she's the chosen one. That's why. Okay, it must have been something in that green liquid that her and her mom that her dad and her mom drank while they were fucking. All right, so Morrible, okay, she's just like, and she walks away with Glinda, because now Glinda is now her student. Okay. And Elphaba, meanwhile, after she just caused a blackout in the city of Oz, in the land of Oz, in the Emerald City, okay, she decides to torpedo herself at bullet speed in the direction of the setting sun, which is west. So she flies west. Now, in our world, the sun also, sets in the west, but apparently it does that in Oz too. Okay, so yeah, so Elphaba torpedoes herself at bullet speed straight west, after she told off everybody and said no one's going to bring her down. And more like no one's going to go down on you, you disgusting, ugly bitch. Anyway, so that happens here. You get the big orchestra music, to underline the importance of this scene. This is her self-actualization. This is her being honest with herself about who she really is. This is her living her truth. Okay? This is her, all that shit coming out to her parents. This is it right here. This is the scene. This is the moment, the climax, if you will, of the damn movie. Okay, this is where she, she basically comes out. Yeah, she affirms her identity. Okay, she tells you her pronouns. You see what I mean? Which was the point of the movie the whole time. Not so much the point of the book. Like, the book was written in the late '90s. Okay, before all the craziness. Okay. But definitely the point of this movie, definitely. Okay, and that's how it ends. That is the end of part 1 of Wicked. Okay, now that I've reviewed the entire movie and I'm done with it, what do I have to think? The movie was better than I thought it would be, but there's a lot of plot holes. Okay, a lot of stuff in there. Okay, like I said, the biggest problems I have, okay, is besides the political stuff in there, is Cynthia Erivo. She's a great actress. Like I said, I don't care how ugly she is, okay, disgusting she is. She is a great actress as far as this goes. I've never seen her do anything else. But as far as this goes, she doesn't play the Wicked Witch of the West. She plays Elphaba, okay? And Elphaba is a good person, okay? For the most part, she's a good person, okay? She gets shit on a lot by society, okay, and by people that she cares about. But for the most part, she is a good person, okay? She's just trying to get her. She's trying to do her own thing, okay? In a world that judges her because of her skin color, okay? Yeah, like we haven't heard that to death, okay? So she's not an evil person. She's not a woman that would ever kill. No, I don't care how mad she got. She would never kill a little girl, okay? She would never throw fireballs at a little girl. You see what I mean? She would never threaten. Well, maybe if she lost her temper, she might, but that's not her character, okay? So it's hard for me to believe that this person, all of a sudden, Anakin Skywalker's into the Wicked Witch of the West in the second movie. Okay, I don't buy that at all, because that's not what happened in the book either. In the book, she didn't go from being good in the beginning to being evil at the end. No, okay, she pretty much stayed the way she was. The only difference with Elphaba in the book is that by the end of the book, she was so immersed in self-pity, okay, and how no one ever went my way, no one ever gave me a second chance. No one ever forgave me. No one was ever kind to me. No one ever did this for me. And they did it for me. That's basically how she is by the end of the book. But you understand that because of all the shit she went through, okay? So instead of overcoming those things, she basically just lived there and decided to be a victim. Therefore, her anger is justified. That was in the book. That's not in the Broadway show from what I saw. In the Broadway show, she faked her death and ran off with the Scarecrow, who was Fiero reincarnated. Okay, So she didn't die. Okay, in the book, she most definitely died. Okay, but also in the book, she actually talked to Dorothy. Okay, although in the book they changed everything. Like, for example, when Dorothy has her confrontation at the end with the Wicked Witch of the West, the Scarecrow is not there. The Tin Man is not there. Okay, they changed the continuity of the original movie. The Lion is there. The Cowardly Lion is there. Okay, she actually tries to get the lion on her side, and he rejects her. He said, "No, no, no! I'm going to protect Dorothy." And Dorothy didn't kill the Wicked Witch of the West because the Scarecrow was on fire. That's not what happened. Okay, basically, the Wicked Witch of the West just unleashed all her self-pity onto Dorothy about how she never got anything done. No one ever gave her a chance. No one ever gave her the slippers. No one ever asked her for forgiveness. No one ever had that. And while she's doing all this ranting and raving, she accidentally caught her broomstick on fire. Okay, and when she saw that, okay, she flipped out for a second, and Dorothy saw a bucket of water and was like, "Oh my God, relax, I'll save you." And she threw the water on her to put out the fire. Okay, and that's what killed Elphaba. Okay, Elphaba, even at the end, she was mad at Dorothy. She maybe even borderline hated Dorothy because remember that was her sister that died. Despite the fact that Dorothy tried to explain to her, "Hey, listen, I had nothing to do with the house crashing on your sister. I just happened to be in the house. It wasn't even my house. It was my aunt and uncle's house." That kind of thing. It was the bank's house. Okay, it was the Wichita Mechanics State Bank. They're the ones that own the house. She said that in the book. That kind of thing. And she was sorry that her sister died. Were you close to your sister? And Elphaba was like, "That's not the point." You see what I mean? Okay, but the thing about it is that Elphaba even cooked her a dinner. Like she knew Dorothy was coming. She even had her son Lear bake a dinner for Dorothy. Okay, they were gonna have dinner first, and then she got mad at Dorothy and threw her in the room to have a private conversation. Just Elphaba and Dorothy, and that was when Dorothy splashed the water on her because Elphaba was on fire. She was trying to put out the fire. Okay, that's when she splashed the water on Elphaba and Elphaba died. That's what happened in the book. Okay, and she did see her life, okay, flash before her eyes. Okay, after she got splashed with water, she saw her whole life flash before her eyes, and then she died. Okay, and she died for real. She didn't fake her death like in the Broadway show did. All right, so I don't know how it's going to end. I will review part 2 when it comes out later on this year. But as for now, I gotta say this movie wasn't that bad. I've already seen it twice now. I saw it originally with my son when it first came out, and then I saw it again when they did the sing-along version at the Alamo Drafthouse. Okay, and I enjoyed myself both times. Like I said, obviously I've criticized the movie a lot in these videos. I've lost my temper too, especially with the whole thing about the message. Okay, and how they manipulate people, how they try to manipulate you with this crap. Okay, they put it under the radar so you don't notice it. You just think it's normal, and when it's not. Okay, that kind of stuff. Okay, maybe I got a little bit too political on here. Okay, but of course, you can't help but make the comparisons with what happened last year. Okay, with Trump and what's happening to Elphaba in this movie. How they're painting her to be this horrible monster when she's really not, and they're doing it for political points because they want their side to win no matter what. Okay, the best way to get people together is to create an enemy. No fucking shit. I don't think the filmmakers realized that they were just affirming, okay, the conservative point, okay, instead of their own. You see what I mean? I don't think they realized that, okay, but they were. All right, that kind of stuff. So, but I can't help it. It's in the movie. I'm going to call it out. That's why I give you a straight man's point of view. Otherwise, if you're a guy and you're looking at how to pick up a girl and get her in bed, don't watch this movie. You're not going to learn a goddamn thing. All right. So anyway, thank you very much for watching this long. I think the next movie I'm going to review, I think it's going to be Devil Wears Prada. Why? Because I've never seen it before, but I've heard about it. How about that for a reason? I think that's the next one I'm going to do, all right? But I'm going to take a break first. I'm going to take a break, okay? And then I'm going to come back, all right? So I thank you for watching these videos, and I will see you soon on the next one. Bye.